All right, welcome back to another video. Let's find the prime factorization of numbers. You can see here we got 5 examples to work. So let's get started on the first one. We got 36. So what we want to do is we want to rewrite these as a product of prime numbers. So to do that, you might want to make a tree. Some numbers you don't have to. Some you're going to need to. It's just it can be too difficult not to. So let's take the 36. So I'm going to write it over here. And what we want to do is we want to write it as a product of prime numbers. So a lot of times what you want to do is you want to start out with the smallest prime number that will divide into your number evenly. Usually what I do, I just start with 2. Okay, and since this is an even number, we know 2 divides into that. Okay, so we know that's 2 times what? 18. Okay, so that's one way that you can start off. Okay, but let me show you this. You don't have to necessarily do that, and it doesn't have to be the first number that you choose to go here. It doesn't have to be a prime. Okay, so 2 times 18, that might not be the first thing that pops into your mind. Instead, you might have thought of 6 times 6. I mean, that's easy. Everybody knows 6 times 6 is 36. And that's perfectly fine to start out that way. Okay? And then all you do is you just break each of these down. So the 6 is 2 times 3. And this 6 is 2 times 3. All right? And see, now we can't break these down anymore. These are all prime numbers. So the 36 is going to be 2 times 3 times 2 times 3. It's just the product of what you end up with. Okay? And so we'll write 2 times 2 times 3 times 3. I usually write them in order. See, we got the 2 2's, so 2 times 2, which is here, and then the 2 3's, 3 times 3, which is here. Okay? All right. Now, let's look at the 84. So for 84, all right, so let's start out. Well, now this one, I can't think of 2 numbers off the top of my head that would multiply to give me 84. Okay, you may not either. But we know that 2 goes into it. So let's write that as 2, okay? So 2 times what is 84? Well, if you need to, you can come over here to the side and divide the 2 into 84. So what you can do is the 84. I'm sure you've seen this before where you draw it upside down. So 2 goes into 8 4 times, okay? And 2 goes into 4 twice, so that's 42. So there's the 42. So 2 times 42. And then the 42 can be broken down. Well, we know 2 goes into 42. But 2 times what is 42? Well, look, you can just continue on. 2 goes into 4 twice. 2 goes into 1. 2 goes into 2 one time. So that's 2 times 21. So you can just keep going. If not, you just come over here and do 84 divided by 2. Well, that's what? That's 4. 8. Bring down the next term. Okay. If you need to do that, That's fine. This is just a quicker way over here. All right. And then the 21, well, that can be written as what? 3 times 7. And now you can see that we have all prime numbers on the ends here. Okay. All prime numbers. So now let's go ahead and write this is equal to 2 times 2, see, 2 times 2 times 3, and then times 7. And so there it is, written as a product of prime numbers. All right, let's take a look at the next one. Let's look at 48. All right, so 48. Well, 2 goes into it, but a lot of, and you know, that one's not bad, 2 times 24. But what some people might think of when they first see the number 48 is, well, that's 6 times 8, or 8 times 6, right? Do that. Okay, it doesn't matter if you start with prime numbers up here or not, because you're just going to keep breaking it down until you get prime numbers. All right, so the 6 can be written as what? 2 times 3, and then we've got to break the 8 down. That's what? 2 times 4, and then the 4 can be broken down into 2 times 2. And now you can see we've got prime numbers at the end of each of these branches here. All right. And so let's see, we've got 2 times 3 times 2 times 2 times 2. So let's put all the 2's first. There's 4 of them. And so that's 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, and then times the 3. Okay. Now, this is a product of primes. Another way that you could write this is, how many 2's do you have here? Well, you got 4 of them. So you could write 2 to the 4th times 3. Okay. I usually leave them like this, but you know, if you have to put it like this, that's fine. Okay. All right. Now, let's look at the 120. All right, so 120. Let's see, 120. Well, that one's pretty easy. 2 times 60, right? 2 times 60. Or you could start out with what? 12 times 10. You see? Let's just start out with the 2 times 60. So 2 times 60. And then this would be what? 2 times 30. Now, another thing with the 60, we could have written what? 6 times 10. And then just kept going from there. That's fine. Okay, it doesn't matter. And then we've got what? 2 times 15. And then this is what? 3 times 5. And so now we've got all prime numbers at the ends here. All right. So our least common multiple, we've got 3 2's. So that's going to be 2 times 2 times 2. And then we've got the 3. And then times the 5. And there it is, broken up into a product of prime numbers. All right, now let's look at this next one here. 693. That's a big number there. Now, let me go ahead and erase this so I can have some room. I don't know how much room I'm going to need, but let's see. All right, so we get 693. All right, so that's a big number. What divides into it? Well, we know 2 doesn't. And I can't think of 2 numbers off the top of my head that will divide into it even, that will multiply to get the 693. But we can look at this. What's 6 plus 9? 6 plus 9 is 15, right? And then 15 plus 3 is 18. Okay? Does 3 go into 18 evenly? Yeah, 6 times. So that means 3 divides into this number evenly. Okay? That's a little trick. If you can add the digits up and 3 goes into the sum of the digits, then 3 goes into that number evenly. All right? So let's come over here and let's look at 693 and let's do the division. Okay? So that's what? 3 goes into 6 twice, 3 goes into 9 3 times, and 3 goes into 3 1 time. All right, so that is going to be 3 times 231. All right. Now, what goes into 231? Well, 2 doesn't. So let's go up to 3. We know 5 doesn't either, right? The 7, I don't know. Well, let's try 3. Well, let's see. 2 plus 3 is 5. 5 plus 1 is 6. 3 goes into 6, so 3 goes into that number. Now, to divide this one, well, we might want to come up here and maybe do the 231. Let's go ahead and do the long division on that. All right, so that's going to be what? 7. That's 21. That's going to be 2. Bring down the 1. And that's going to be 7. So this can be rewritten as 3 times 77. Okay. And then the 77, well, that's what? 7 times 11. And then look at this. All of these are prime numbers now. So now I can write it as a product of primes. So that's going to be 3 times 3 times 7 times 11. And there's your answer. All right. So I hope this video helped. Check out my other videos. Give me a like, share, and subscribe. And thanks for watching.